So in God and don't worry about the story. So God is going. And about think about what we in 12 months. Here we are. The last Sunday in 2020. It's not a blessing. It's not a blessing. We need to give God thanks. Don't give all the people have left. Here we are, the last. That's a blessing right there. We can't do nothing to say thank you. And even last night, yesterday, with the storm rising, some people did not make it to the day. I looked at the news and said, oh, wow, people got drowned because of the flood. But look at God. He passed us up one more time. So if he passes us one more time, that gives us a chance to get our house in divine order. Because we don't know when. All we need to do is prepare ourselves to be ready. And son said, be ready when he comes. Because somebody is not ready. You need to get your house, my house, in divine order and be ready. Now, as we get into this lesson, we see last week, we was in the book of Luke. Again, we see we in the book of Luke. Now, what we said about Luke was a missionary and he was a physician. Plus, he was a Gentile that gave us more about Christ than any other Bible. That's something. A Gentile, one that was not supposed to be except Christ, he was like more about Christ. That's nothing but how God works. But we go back to Ruth. She was one of those taken people. And God did what he did. So God, we say, can use anybody to do his will. And look at Luke. Luke gives us more in depth about Christ. Now, as we began to look and think about what we said last week, we had some breaking news. That's some breaking news. That means that something coming on good. Whatever you look at, comes out this breaking news. Oh, there must be something very important that says breaking news. So here we are this morning. We leave the breaking news and we come by cry for help with the same Bible, Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke, and we see what? A cry for help. Now, as I began to look at that and think about that cry for help, and talked about last week when we say, we know that John was at forerunner, John the Baptist. So John was out there telling us that someone was coming greater than him, coming behind him, but yet he was before him. And then, it said that was some of the breaking news. And what I realized, the other breaking news was the shepherds out there working. And we said, what happened? The light shone on him and told him to go and find the baby, and the baby's going to be there. Breaking news. Then I went back, way back again. The news began to break after Adam and Eve decided they're going to do what they did as God. The news began to break in because it started back there. And it kept on, kept on. It's been announced, but no one knew. He kept it hidden from the people. It's just like 42 generations, he kept it hidden. David come on, 28 generations, he kept it hidden. 14 generations later, the news broke. What was the news? That Jesus, the Son of God, is going to be born. That was the breaking news. And this morning, we look what we have, a cry for help. When you think about that, a cry for help, what comes to mind? Somebody in trouble. What is it? You down at your doors. You went to all your friends. You went to your relatives, and they cannot help you. You know what came to my mind back in the day? I love back in the numbers and stuff. But in my early days, I taught math a little bit, at least 15 years before I got out of class. But what I like about it is that when you go back in the past, in the numbers, I went back, I think I seen somewhere in Navy, where they said, who do you call? You call Ghostbusters. You remember Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters. But what I realized, Ghostbusters cannot help you. When I get down to my lowest, I can't call Ghostbusters. When I have nowhere to go, Ghostbusters will help me. Because your relatives and everybody turn against you, but there's one that you can call. He never turns to hear from you. He hears your every cry. And what's a cry mean? I cry mean you please. This don't mean that, oh, my tears come out of my eyes. That's what that means. Cry mean when you get so low, you probably feel like crying. But this said, you call. Nobody call. I like this song called Jesus. When you get down to your lowest, you got to need who to go to. See, in this lesson today, this man, he knows who to go. Do you know who to go when you get down where you can't go no more? Yeah. If you call your friend may hang up on you. Man. If you call your friend and see your number comes out and say, oh, you don't want that big. You know how that works. We do something like that. He don't want anything. You don't know what I want. Answer my call. But this man knows. He knows who to call on for the crowd together. And as we get into this lesson and see about this man who he was called on, he said, I cried for help. And the first thing he tells us when we get to look for the cry for help, it says, a desperate plea. Now, you know this man, he got to be in bad shape. You got to be fast when you say, I'm desperate. You can't get no Lord that's been desperate. Have you ever got down to where you had nowhere to go? No money. And you know that you got something to do. So you know that's desperate right there. But do you rest at night when you have to come wrong? You don't rest at night. You just toss and turn all night. I've been there toss and turn all night. But what I realized, if I had put it in the hands of the right man, all I had to do was just what? Go to sleep, because he's going to take care of you. I like to say, he may not come when you want, but what happened? He's on time. He always show up for you. And I like when he show up. He do more than show up. He do what he do? He show up. This morning, the prayer, I was kind of like when we get into our prayer, thinking out in prayer, he showed up, and he showed up, and he showed out in the prayer. He showed up, and he showed out when he got you up this morning. That was showing out right there, because you didn't know that you're going to be here, but you're here. And we get into this lesson where I said, I'm desperately, here we go to desperately read. What do we have there?
Verse 35, and it came to pass that as he come down unto Jericho, a certain blind man sat by the wayside begging.
Look what it says. I kind of like it. And it came to what? Pass. Then it said, a certain blind man was sitting up begging. Certain blind man sitting up begging. You know, we look at a person to be beg, what do we do? Turn him off, turn our nose up. He begged too much. You see people on the street come around walking, they ask you something. All I see that old person keep begging. Just keep begging. What is it? Healthier than you are. But some of them, they begging for a reason. Some of them, they may not be healthy. Some of them got something wrong with a little part. But they still are begging. And what do? We turn our nose up. I'm just tired of giving. You know what? You shouldn't be tired of giving, because every day, God gives you a new day. Amen. So if he can give you a new day, why can't you give sometime to me something? But every time we give, we got to complain. I gave you that yesterday. Okay, yesterday's gone. But here's a new day. And what about? This man here begging. Begging. You know, when somebody begging, that got to get to your heart. I know. Sometimes my wife, she don't beg, but it's so close to it. That kind of hurt me a little bit. So I have to get big. It's not a bed, but it's so close. You know, you get close to something, but it's not there. Oh, there it is right there. I can pick on her. She got to go home with me, you know? I leave. Then I leave, Dick. Dick, so I go back here. Well, you're right, Dick. Let's go to the next, Dick. Go by the same.
Verse 36, and hearing the multitude pass by, he asked what it meant.
And when you look at who was coming, the multitude of the crowd coming. And you know, when the crowd comes, what do they usually do? Making noise. When the crowd coming, they making noise. The multitude was coming, and he's still sitting there. And he began to wonder what was going on. Sitting there, and the multitude coming. Something going on here. So this is a blind man. He couldn't see it, but he's sitting there waiting, and he waiting what's going on. But what I like about this, the blind man knows where to be. You know where he was. He was side of the road. He knew how to get where he was going there because he knew if I get to this location, that somebody's coming back. So the blind man already had a kind of idea what was going on right there. So he just stood there and just kept on. Then he said, as he stood there and asked what was going on, what the next time read?
37. And they told him that Jesus of Nazareth passed by.
Somebody told him that Jesus of Nazareth passed by. Blind man, Jesus of Nazareth passed by. That sounds strange. Blind man, Jesus of Nazareth passed by, and the blind man said, now here's the one that I like. He, reader, what that next tell us like this.
Verse 38. And he cried, saying, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me.
Look at that. Now, here's the blind man. He couldn't see, but he had heard. Who did he hear about? He had heard about Jesus. You know what I like? A lot of things we can't see, but we do what? Hear. The word travels faster than our eyes. Have you noticed that? And they said our life travel fast. But this right here, this was a lie. This blind man couldn't see at the place where he needed to be, but he what? He heard. He heard that who was coming out. Jesus. So that lets you know the blind man knew about who? Jesus. And now he couldn't see Jesus. He never saw Jesus. But the blind man heard about Jesus. Look at that. We don't see Jesus. We have read about Jesus. We heard all about Jesus. Where is it? Where is it? The blind man had something. What did the blind man have? The blind man had a faith. The blind man had heard about who was coming through. The blind man had heard about this Jesus. I kind of like the Jesus he's talking about. The blind man said he heard about Jesus right there. Then he said, once he got through hearing about Jesus, he knew about the son of David. Why did he say the son of David? You know, that sounds funny. The blind man hadn't seen Jesus, wasn't nowhere near Jesus, but he heard about Jesus, the son of David. How you put that together? They called the son of David. That's what I'm talking about. Well, if we go back to last week, what did the angel tell the folks? That who was coming? Jesus. And where he's going to be born in. And that was the city of who? Where was David born in? Bethlehem. And anytime you read about David, it connects together, you read about who? Jesus. You don't hear anything about Joseph there. Who you hear about? The son of who? David. Yeah. Look at the blind man say. Even the blind man had heard about Jesus. He heard that Jesus was coming. What is it? It took 1 2 generations, but Jesus did what? He came. And the blind man heard that Jesus was coming. What I like about the blind man, he heard Jesus coming. Really? What the next chapter says he heard about Jesus coming?
Verse 39. And they which went before rebuked him, that he should hold his peace. But he cried so much and the more, thou son of David, have mercy on me.
Man, y'all heard. You need to shut up. But the more they told him to shut up, the more he wrote. The more he cried. That means the more they told him to shut up, the more he called on Jesus. The more somebody talk about you, what you need to do? Call on Jesus. You got your eyes. The blind man couldn't see. But he knew to call on who? Jesus. You got your eyes. Do you call on him? You need to call on him just like the blind man. If he could see and had faith in Jesus, why don't you have faith in Jesus and you can see? He knew who to call on. The blind man called on Jesus. You know, that kind of got me when I looked at them and said, the more he called, they tried to rebuke him. Shut your mouth. Don't call Jesus. But the blind man knew who to call. They didn't want to call because they looked down on the blind man. What do? We look down on people less than us. How could you look down on somebody? The same God made them, who he made. So So why are you looking down on somebody? You know, when we get up somebody, society get us up, little ways in life, what do we do? Look down on people, trying to have a nose on people. If they don't look like the way I look, or the way I think they should look, what do? Look down on them, turn our nose on them, shun away from them. I said, what? Don't do that. That's what they did. But look what happened. Man, shut your mouth. Because Jesus is coming through. Who else do the man get called on? The blind man know who called on. He had a better idea than what they had. Because he was called on who? Jesus. The more they tell him to shut his mouth, the more he cried. Then he said, again, the son of who? Look how he goes back to the son of David. This blind man has some knowledge that somebody told him that Jesus was the son of who? He had heard something. He couldn't see, but he heard. What we said, that lie traveled faster than the truth. But in this case, he heard the truth. But how you know? Because if you go back and read, he heard somewhere that Jesus had already healed one blind man. Go back earlier. He had already healed blind man. Matthew tells about that blind man that Jesus healed. So what happened? This man, and he said that Jesus could heal that blind man, I'm blind, and Jesus had no respect for person. What did that tell me? He can heal me. So if you're doing okay, and somebody else not, that lets you know that Jesus, the same Jesus, can help that person. You need to tell somebody, I was like you. And that same God brought me where I am right now. But what do? Look down. And I believe there's a song that don't look down on man. Unless you know what? We don't do that. When we get somebody down, what do? Stomp it. We're going to keep them down. And the other way we keep them down with this thing in our mouth. That little thing, that fact. When you know somebody down, you get on the phone. Hey, Dick. Do you know Dick Ransom? And you know, lost all the money. You know, it's still sad. You know, can you help? We don't do that. You know, Dick Lionel, he fell off the ladder last night. It's still saying, man, and you heard it say, what are we going to say? I'm glad for him. That's the way we do it. When a man is down, we want to keep him what? Down. It's kind of like they say, a crawfish. I think when they pull each other down, we just like crawfish. We don't want nobody to get up. As soon as you get up, you're going to do what? Put it down. But that's not what it's saying. This blind man was down. This blind man don't return to him, and they didn't want to return to him. So that sounds just like us. We go back and read these stories and think about what the Bible, and it still happens right now. Everything that happened back there, it's happening right now. And what we supposed to know better. But do we? We are worse than those people back there. No, we still do the same thing, and we do it twice a day. And then, I believe we got our question. The question says, how can believers develop multi-miles, long-persistent faith applied into serving needs of others? How can you do like all mine? The blind man. How can you do that? By having more faith. This man did not see, but he had faith that the Jesus was coming back. If Jesus come back, what faith do you have in your life that Jesus has came by in your life? Do you remember some time that you know that you didn't know what to do, but Jesus showed up in your life? Have you told somebody, I think it's a lot of times, have you ever told somebody that? How Jesus came to rescue you from your problem? Whatever the problem you had, Jesus came in. What does that mean? You have to keep the faith. But what I like about hope, as soon as your problem comes to you, what do? Instead of us going to Christ, we go back to what we was doing. A lot of folks, instead of going to Christ, if I was drinking and my problem is so bad, what was I going to do? Go back to the bottom. If I was out there running behind whoever, and what happened when my problem get bad and I'm straight up, I'll run back to what I was doing. Instead of going to who? God. Have faith in who? And how much faith do you have to have? Just the size of a mustard seed. What does that mean? All I need is just a little faith. A little faith. And who do you have faith in? Have it in Christ. Don't have it in preacher. Don't have in the demons. Don't have in the crime, but have in who? Christ. Because he's on somebody and they can't do it. They may turn it back on you, but Christ has never turned his back. He may not come again when you want to, but I guarantee you, he's going to show up, and he always will show up. Whatever the problem may be, the blind man knows that Jesus showed up, and now he's about to show out the blind man. Read what that lesson says.
Verse 40. And Jesus stood and commanded him to be brought unto him. And when he was come near, he asked him.
Look at that. Jesus stood and said, bring the man to me. And you know, don't get me like that. This old man back there, and now Jesus wants you to bring him to me. You know some of us. Because as you go back, some of them, they didn't follow Jesus because of who Jesus was. They followed Jesus because of the thing that Jesus had already done. So what they want, well, if he done that, I'm going to follow him. You know how we do. If things are going good, if somebody does something good, you always want to be with that good person. But boy, let something go bad. What do we do? Tuck out there and do what? Run instead of help. That's what we always do. But that's not what it says right here. I got a lot what this man done, and I like how Jesus does. Jesus, the Frank Jr. And after he said that, read what the next say.
Verse 41, saying, what wilt thou that I shall do unto thee? And he said, Lord, that I may receive my sight.
What do you want me to do? Well, Jesus, right now, would you help me? The blind man said, I don't want money. What I want to do is what? Let me see these. I just want to see because I never saw. So let me see. We got all kinds of reasons we come to Jesus. But the blind man said, Jesus asked, what you want me to do? Just let me see. Isn't that something? Just let me see. I'm down, Jesus. I at my lowest. Have you ever got to your lowest and said, Jesus, I don't want a big house. Just give me a little house. Jesus, I don't have to have a big bank account. Just let me have just a little house. Jesus, I don't have to have too much. Just give me just a little bit. But what do? We want it all. What's the first thing? I want to be rich. I never want to be rich. I just want to be what God wants me to be. When you think about that there, and you ask about it, that's all the blind man said, I don't care about this and this. I just want to see. Just let me see. I just want to see. And then I can ask that there, what did they say, read?
Verse 42. And Jesus said unto him, receive thy sight, thy faith has saved thee.
What did he? Faith. Faith. The blind man had never seen Jesus. But the blind man had heard about Jesus. And the blind man had what? He had faith. What faith he had? That Jesus, that same Jesus, had already healed one blind man. That same Jesus can give me my sight. So Jesus, all I want to do is give me just my sight. And what did that take? That takes a little faith. When I got up this morning, or when you got up this morning, did you get up on your own? You had to trust who? Trust Jesus. In order to trust Jesus, I mean I had to have a little what? I had faith. I had faith that he's going to bring me here, and I have faith that he's going to take me from here. I'm going to have just a what? A little. You don't have to have much. It says just a little bit of faith. This blind man, all he going to have is just a little faith. He had never seen Jesus, but he had faith that Jesus, when you ask him that question, all I want to be able to see. Some of us have eyes, and we still live in the dark. What are you talking about? You have eyes, you still live in the dark. Because you are still seeing. So when you see it, you are still living in the dark. This blind man, he wanted eyes so he could see. We can see, and we still do wrong. Now what you think? Who is better? The blind man or us? The blind man. Because the blind man did have what? Faith that God could open up his eyes. We have faith that we can see, and we still don't believe what's going on. We got to see. If you go back to the king, what they say? When God told him he was the king, they didn't want that. They said, okay, we want us a human king, somebody we can see. Do you remember when they told him about that? And he did. He told him, tell them, Samuel, if they have a human king, all the problems will come. But what did they say? We still want a king. We want a king. This Tracy. That's what we like. The man knows who to call. He didn't call nobody but who? Jesus. Again, he hadn't seen Jesus, but he had faith in Jesus. We said he had heard about Jesus. What we said, you hear more than you see. So he heard about Jesus. And when he said Jesus was the son of who? The man knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. So if the man knew what he's talking about, he knew about who? Jesus. And he also knew about who? David. So that man, he had an idea of what he was talking about. The blind man. All he had was what? Faith. He had faith that Jesus was going to heal him. You know, when I read that, I was excited about the blind man. All the faith that he had in Christ, here we are in see, and we don't have our faith. Where is your faith? When things get bad again, where is your faith? Last night when it stormed, where were you at? Were you awake or did you sleep? I don't know what I don't do. Because I know that the same man that the storm came, also the same man that the Bible. I also know if it was my time to go, I was still going to go. Whether I was asleep or whether I was awake. But what is it? When something comes along, I'm going to sleep all night. I don't have to all night nothing. Because I know the God that I serve, he will protect and he will provide. So why don't I still serve him? The blind man had faith. He had faith. I kind of liked about blind man having faith. Couldn't see Jesus. He had faith. We don't see Jesus. Where's your faith? Huh? Where's your faith? You don't see him, but where's your faith? My faith is I believe. I believe that he died. Man. And I believe that he rose. Man. And not only that he rose with what? All power. So if he rose with all power in my faith, why don't I worship him and not worship them? Some folks worship them. When you get to worship them, you got a problem. You need to worship who? Him. Because what him did? Him died well on the cross. Not only did him die on the cross, I kind of like him, y'all. I know, may not be good eat, but I kind of like it. I went to school a little bit. So him, he died on the cross, and him also what? Rose from. So I kind of like that because when you put your faith in him, he's going to make everything to be all right. Read what that next is.
Verse 43. And immediately he received his sight and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise unto God.
Wait a minute. The same people told him, shut your mouth. Hush. Don't say anything else. Don't say anything about Christ. But yes, when Christ healed him, and when he got up and he followed Christ, what did those same people do? Look how people do. You see how they do? They have time to back on you, and the same people turn around and chew you on. How people do. They told him to shut your mouth, man, because Jesus comes out, he don't have time for you. But then when they saw what Jesus did, the same one jumped up and cheered him on. But what I like about the blind man, he didn't say that. When he got up, what did he do? Follow Christ. Are you following Christ? You up, so are you following Christ? That means if I'm following Christ, I need to do one word. I believe that all the time. Love. Who do you love when you follow Christ? Everybody. You have no special person. But we choose who we want to love. I love him, I don't like him. I love blood, I don't like him. That's how we do. But when you follow Christ, you'll be just like the blind man. Get up and follow Christ. And then, I believe we have our question. That question says, how can the church become more attentive and responsive to cries for help among those off the silence by church business and church politics? Look at the word there. Business and politics. You know that. How can a church attendance be more responsible for people crying? Then we have it. Yes, you can go here. I can see you can go. We have it. And it says politics. That's what's wrong with the world. Politics is in everything you do. So how can we go beyond the politics and do what needs to be done? As a Christian, what do we need to do? Continue to pray and continue to let God lead us. When you let God lead you, you know which way to go. But what do? We go so far that we turn around. But what we have to do, we have to be that light of this world. When you be the light of this world, you got to continue to do what? Shine in the darkness. You still got to shine. Just a little speck of light you can see. So what we have to do as a church, take the politics out. Why you do that? Well, I know someone make more money about the church. That's what we think. I know someone do this and that. But it says, take the politics out. When you take politics out, you need to put love in. It doesn't matter whether you give a dime or nickel. It says love. Whatever you do, give it from the heart, and that's how God receives. But what we do, we're going to give things from our mouth and everything else. But you got to give it from your heart. God looks at your heart, while man looks at the outside. So if we want to take politics out of the church and put more love in the church, that means everybody needs to love everybody. And let's get this love right. Love don't mean that kind of love that people think. Love your brother and sister means, that's what it said. Love your brother and sister. Not the love that the first thing we think about. So I tell somebody I love you, and you can hit no way. You know what he told me? He told me he loved me. And she tell y'all, I love you. Love. We got to move that kind of love and put in what? The Christian love. We got to love like Christ love. Now, with that being said, I'm going to call up my daughter. She's going to conclude this part right here. All right, daughter. What up, here?
Amen.
I don't know what you ready.
Amen.
Wait. John with the tap. Look at that.
Amen.
Daughter. Not like that, you know, don't brag about that.
Good morning, you all. I'm tasked again with doing the summary for this unit. So this is unit 1, entitled Jesus, the heir of David. It's funny that he ended with love, because I looked up David to see what the word, what that name actually meant. It meant beloved and to love. It does. And I looked it up because since the unit's title focuses on the heir of David, I wanted to know why was David so significant. So first I posted off, his name means love. He was a shepherd. He was the runt of the litter. He took down Goliath, even though he was a runt. He wrote the Psalms. He was a man after God's own heart. And he became a great king of Israel. So that made him a very significant person in Jesus' lineage. The first topic was a noble family tree, which was taught by Deacon Buckley. And in this lesson, it was emphasized that Boaz bought land, and as a result of buying the land, he took over Naomi and Ruth. Ruth became his wife. And in their old age, they did bear a son. That son was named Obed, which was nursed by Naomi. So she raised him. Now, what made this significant was that Boaz didn't give him his last name. He gave him Naomi's husband's last name so that the name would be continued and that lineage would go on. The second unit was entitled A Very Fine House. So in this one, it talked about how David had really good intentions, but there was this person, Nathan, that God spoke to. And he told him to tell David some significant things. One of which, that he took him from the pasture, where he was tending flock, and appointed him ruler over Israel. He will make him a great name. He will be one of the greatest men on earth. He will provide a place for the people of Israel. He will plant them so that they will have their own home and they will no longer be disturbed. And wicked people, they would no longer be oppressed by them. And the third topic, which was get ready, be prepared. Ms. Davis taught us about that. This is where it chronologically explained John the Baptist's birth. This was Zachariah's son. Now, John the Baptist was significant because that was Jesus' cousin, and he was the one that baptized him, and he kind of foreshadowed the coming of Jesus Christ. Now, last week I was out, so I had to go back and watch the video. So when I watched the video, Sister Butler had some breaking news. Right? So what Sister Butler told us was that Jesus is on his way. And because he's on his way, and he has prepared a place for us, we need to get our houses in order. That's what she told us. And then Deacon Butler came up and he explained Joseph and Mary and what they went through in order to get Jesus here. Traveled between 75 and 100 miles. So I thought about that. You know, I tried to work out 3, 4, 5 times. I couldn't do 75 to 100 miles. And she was pregnant. And she came in on the donkey. When you look at this, everything, all of these events parallel something that went on with Jesus. And that was very significant as well. And then finally today, we had a cry for help, which is a plea. So in today's lesson, the events chronicle the blind Bartimaeus, and him begging. To beg means to humble yourself, to lower yourself, and he did that to express the need for sight. And Jesus saw that, and he stood, and he told the folks in the crowd, bring to him. And they did what he said, which the Father, well, we have to do what he said to them. And so Jesus did what he could do. He gave them sight. And what did they do? Along with the angels in one of those other sections, they glorified God. Them angels came out of heaven. And they glorified God. And so did the people in the crowd that were naysayers at first. They glorified God. So with this, the thing for me was love and faith. You got to believe it. And God is love.
Give a hand. Now, I know you probably wonder why we follow the church. I asked something about this on the 9:15 for a reason. You know, it's been said 366 days, 56 Sundays, and we are still here. So what I decided to do, we're going out with a bang. What's bang is? A bang, a bang, a bang. Just all our, I'm not going to say assistant teachers, but we are co-laborers in Christ. So all our co-laborers in Christ will come and tell you what lesson that they taught out, they heard about, they thought real good over these 12 months. Can you imagine 12 months, 366 days? Why you say 66? Because leap year came this year, where you know it or not, that makes 366 days from this day. So here we go, teacher, come forward, my co-labor. Now listen to the co-labor, and nobody gonna get none. What is that? Your eyes may shine, your teeth may grit, but none of this you get. Come on, teacher. All of it. All of it. We got one missing our baby, the rest of them here. Come on, help me out. These are my co-laborers. All right. They hope we out this year, and we're gonna let them have it from. Here we go. That was my co-laborer. Okay. You hear me? Okay, mine is about faith. We talked about faith sex. So what is faith? My definition for faith is when we trust in God, even when we cannot see Him with our eyes. If you believe that God is real, that He loves us, and that He keeps His promise, even when things are hard or when we don't understand what happens, God promised to help us. The faith is a gift from God. The more we trust Him, the stronger our faith grows.
And God always keeps his promise. He gives promise. He is someone we can believe in. Okay. What can faith do? That having faith, what can it do? Let me take you what faith can do. All right. Faith brings us closer to God. Without faith, no one can see God. It allows us to connect with Him and trust His promise. Faith saves us and gives us eternal life. Faith gives us strength and courage. Faith in Jesus gives us strength to face challenge and overcome being afraid. Faith renew our strength and help us keep going even in difficult times. Faith makes it possible. Faith allows us to trust God for miracles and breakthroughs. Faith fills our heart with peace and joy. Faith allows us to trust God instead of worrying and giving us peace. Faith helps us overcome the challenge. Faith gives us the strength to overcome struggling and standing at difficult times. Faith changes everything and it connects us with God. Empower us and allow His power to work in and through our lives. Remember, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, then that's all the faith you need. Also, James 2, verse 20, tells us faith without work is dead. Faith without work is dead. Now, put your faith to work.
We don't have a sister, we got co-labor.
For me, breaking news was the one that I liked.
All right.
Because it was about birth. And because I've been such a life before I knew Christ, that was important to me. Just luckily we did the breaking news that Jesus comes again. So before Jesus comes, I just didn't help.
All right.
So it says, unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So Jesus has redeemed me in that one verse. So when Jesus came to save me, now I can repent of my sins. He'll forgive me and accept me into the kingdom. Well, my lesson was lesson 10. When the road is long, talk about Sister Yellowcab. The scripture Psalm 23 in its entirety, which was a poem attributed to David, because David was a shepherd before he became king. And you go all the way through the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. But the only thing I got out of it was these 3 words. The Lord is. The Lord can be whatever you want him to be. The Lord, he can be he can provide for me, he's my peace. When they're going through storms in my life, he's my company people in a lonely hour. He's my way maker, he makes a way out of no way. He's my doctor in the sick room. He's my lawyer in the courtroom. He's my protector, he watches over me. He's near to the broken hearted. He's a local. He's, and the First Lady say he's her personal ATM. But the pastor's a personal ATM, but God is my personal ATM.
All right.
When I need money, I go to him. He's my joy and sorrow. He's my hope for tomorrow. He is my everything. And with all that, I'm going to dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In the church, in heaven with God. He's forever with me. So that's what I got out of it. The Lord is whatever you want him to be.
Amen.
So,
You see my co-labor. So when I'm out, all I do is call one of my co-laborers. I've been up. My regular co-labor, she's not here. She's with years. She called me asking without filling in. So I don't mind filling in. But I like some other people sticking, because we all in this thing together. There's no course now. Some people keep talking. I'm just a co-labor. But all of my folks, as I told you, your eyes may shine, but your feet may wish, but none of them you can hit. Those are my co-labels, and then the road co-labels. And I kind of love that. So give them a hand. So the people talking about all the lessons that I taught, that they taught, is one that really sticks me. And one that really stuck me is that, whom can I trust? Whom can I trust? I can't trust my mother because she's gone. I can't trust my father because he's gone. I can't trust my brother because he's gone. Also, my so-called best friend, they're gone. But whom can I trust? I call on him every day, and I trust him. I call on him all through the day, and I trust him. So whom can I trust? The man we talked about this morning. I call him what? Jesus. Some of them call him Dr. Jesus. When you know that you're sick and you're in the hospital, all you got to do is call who? Dr. Jesus. When you need a prescription, you know what's going to be good or bad. All you got to do is call who? Dr. Jesus. So whom can I trust? I trust him. I go back to the word him because him can make a way out of what? No, if you don't believe it, ask Moses. He can make a way. So him can do that. That's why I said, whom can I trust? When everybody's on the way, I go right back to whom can I trust? And whom do I trust? Jesus. Because he is a way maker. He never lets you down. He may not come when you want to, but whom can I trust? I trust him. Him has it all. If I need something, I call on who? Him. When my wife says she gets mad and looks kind of funny, that's okay. I call on who? Him. When my children don't want to act right, that's okay. I call on who? Him. When my neighbors don't want to act right, I call on who? Him. If my deacon decides to look at me and I'm gonna call on who? Him. Because I know him can make it what? Wait, I'm gonna call on him and I'm gonna him myself.